my channel and to another reading vlog. Sorry it's been a few weeks since I've uploaded. I was actually on holiday in Rome, and for some reason when I travel I'm usually a bit preoccupied mentally and also like physically before I go, like just getting stuff sorted, and then I usually take a while to get adjusted back to life once I come back. But I now finally feel like I have the time and the energy to start making content again and also read again, because I haven't really read that much over the past few weeks, but I have a few books I'm really excited for, so I'm going to give you a reading update now and then we'll start the vlog. The only book I read in the past 2.5 weeks is actually Between Two Fires, which I just finished this morning, and unfortunately I didn't love this book, and a lot of people love this book. The average rating on Goodreads is a 4.20, so it's really high, and I think I'm going to give it a 3. I just found this quite boring. It's a medieval fantasy horror, which is my absolute favourite genre at the moment, so I should have loved it. And the way people recommend it, they act like it's the quintessential medieval horror book, and I just didn't enjoy it at all. The reason I gave it a 3 is because some of it was just me being in a slump, and I feel like it's not fair to really harshly rate a book because I personally wasn't in the reading mood. It definitely did affect my enjoyment of it, so that's why I'm giving it a 3. But at the same time, I do think even if I was in a better reading mood, I still wouldn't have given it like a 4 or a 5 star. It's just not really my thing. More in the structure of the plot rather than the actual like themes or tone. I did like the writing. I love like the atmosphere. I just loved the medieval horror aspects. But the actual plot, like they were going on a quest in it, and quest stories are hit or miss for me. I sometimes am quite bored by the plot beats of a quest story. It's a lot of travelling about, interacting with new characters and then leaving them and then meeting new people and then having different obstacles in the way. And sometimes it's done well and other times I do get bored by it, and this is just the case where I was just getting bored by it. It's over 400 pages and I just felt like I was like, can we get to the climax of the story? And it just yeah, it was a bit disappointing, unfortunately, which is a shame because so many people love this book and so many people I trust, and I feel like I've disappointed people by not loving this. But yeah, hopefully I will enjoy my next read. Speaking of my next read, I actually have 3 books that I can't decide between, and it's the last 3 books on my April TBR, and yeah, I just can't decide what one I want to read next. The one I want the most is actually the biggest book, A Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb, which is like the 4th book in the Realm of the Elderlings series, which is 16 books long, but it's the 1st book in the 2nd trilogy. Like it's a new story to the Farseer trilogy here, which is the original trilogy. So I really want to continue in the series to keep the momentum going, because it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since I finished Assassin's Quest, the last book in that trilogy, so I feel like I should start it, but at the same time it's so chunky that this is going to take me into May probably, because we're nearly at the end of April. So I kind of want to read a shorter book before starting this, so I can just say I read more books in April, because I've only read 4 so far. The other 2 options are The Swan's Daughter, which is like a historical YA fantasy, and then A Beast Slinks Towards Beijing, which is like a sad literary fiction book. And yeah, those are the 2 options. I'm really excited about both of them. Maybe I'll read like the first chapter in each and see what one I'm most in the mood for, and then once I've finished one of these books I can move on to Ship of Magic and not feel guilty about only reading 4 books in April, because I will have read 5, which I feel like is a bit better than 4. I'm going to choose between one of these. I also need to tidy this room because I just filmed a book recommendation video for whimsical books for spring, so that should be up if you've not already seen it yet. Definitely check that out. But I have books absolutely everywhere and I need to sort that out. I thought I would give a reading update because I read quite a lot yesterday, so I was between these 2 books here and I actually read the first chapter of each, and I've decided I'm just going to read both of them together because they're quite different vibes and paces as well, so I feel like they scratch 2 different itches, so I'm just going to read them like in tandem. The one I read most of though is The Swan's Daughter. I read like 201 pages of this. I'm over halfway through now. I actually might try and finish it today, just because it is really easy to read. I don't think I gave a synopsis of this, but basically it's a YA fantasy romance and it follows the two main characters. One is a prince and one is a Veritas swan, and the prince basically is from this family where all of the like men in the family, or all the grooms, are cursed, where anyone that they marry like kills them. It's this prophecy or curse, and he is like due to be married as well, and his mother's like hosting a competition, like kind of like The Bachelor or Bachelorette style, where he has to choose a bride, and the other main character, she ends up seeking refuge in the palace, and she actually strikes a bargain with the prince, because one of her like magical abilities is that she can make people tell the truth. So she basically offers up her services to him, by making sure that the girls who are like trying to marry him are being honest and they're not going to try and kill him. And yeah, I'm over halfway through now, and yeah, things are developing. There isn't that much of a plot other than the main kind of romance going on and the like competition between the girls for the prince's hand. The main character has her own stuff going on with like her parents, but there's not that much going on other than that. I'm not loving this so far. It definitely is reading like a young adult book, which is a young adult book, so I'm not like faulting it for that, but it's just reminding me why I don't love to read this genre anymore. I do love the author's writing style. I've read other books by her before and loved the writing, but the actual plot and characters I'm not as invested in. And then I actually only got one chapter into A Beast Slinks Towards Beijing, and this is a literary fiction, but it's also a horror as well. And the main character, she is living in New York, and she gets this call from someone in her like childhood neighborhood that there's like a random man at her childhood house like asking for her, and she finds out that it's actually her dad who ran out on her and her mum like 14 years ago or something like that. So she takes her dad in, and he is like dealing with a lot of stuff. He might have dementia, but he's also an alcoholic, so his mind's starting to go, and he just keeps talking about this prophecy that he needs to tell her about, but he like can't get the words out, so she doesn't really know what's going on. So she takes him in, and then she starts to have like these nightmares and visions of this like rabbit or hare that's following her about. So there's something bizarre going on that has to do with her dad showing back up in her life. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed this more of the two. The reason I just decided to pick both up at the same time was just because they're quite different in style and pace. This one's going to take me a bit longer to get through. The writing is really lyrical, and I just love the writing style in this so far. There's just like a lot of metaphors and stuff, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because I know it follows multiple timelines, but we start to learn more about the dad and like his ancestors, and I guess there's going to be some sort of connecting thing, like this prophecy that keeps going on about. But I've heard great things about this book, so I'm so excited to read this more. And I'm actually going to go into Waterstones today, and I'm going to take this one with me just because it's the paperback, so it'll be easier to carry and read in the cafe, and hopefully I can get a decent amount of the way through it, and I'll take you with me as well. Back now, and I actually read page 57 of A Beast Links Towards Beijing, and I'm on chapter 8, and I'm still loving this so far. I really love the writing. The horror aspects are also coming like into it more. The main character's having like weird visions, and yeah, just people around her keep going on about the prophecy, and she keeps seeing the hare or the jackalope. I keep forgetting what jackalopes look like, so I'm gonna need to Google that. But it's definitely eerie and unsettling so far, and I'm really enjoying this actually. And we've started to get a bit more about her relatives back in China and like their history as well, so I'm really interested to see like the common thread between it all and how it all links together. I love stories like that where two different timelines like come together and it all just like folds into place. Just love stories like that. And I actually bought a book as well because I didn't spend any money on it, because for my work you can get given like points. They're basically money. It's not much and it's not often. It's like very rare. It's been over a year since I actually had any, but I got £10 worth and I converted it into a Waterstones gift voucher. So I bought one book, and that is The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince, and this is actually part of the realm of the Elderlings, which is right here. This is the first 3 books, but basically this is a novella that people recommend reading before you read the 3rd trilogy. So I won't have to read it for a while because I've not even read the 2nd trilogy yet, but at least I have it in my hands because I feel like it's quite hard to find in person. So the fact that they had it, I felt like I should get it, but it's only teeny tiny and I spent no money on it either, so I feel like it's not that damaging to my TBR or my wallet, so I'm happy I got this. Yeah, my plans for the rest of the night are to have dinner and then read. I'm going to try and finish The Swan's Daughter and then see how much I can make my way through this, because I feel like it sounds bad but I kind of want to get The Swan's Daughter over and done with so I can solely focus on this, because this is like what I'm really into at the moment. So I owe you a reading update, but first I have some book mail. One of them was expected. It's actually a second-hand book I got off of eBay. No clue what state it's going to be in. It said it was in very good condition, but there's no pictures of it, but it was only £3, so I just thought I'd risk it either way. And then the other book is a Waterstones pre-order that I completely forgot that I pre-ordered because they were doing, I think it was double stamps or 20% off hardbacks or something like that back in February or something, so I pre-ordered like 3 new hardbacks and I forgot that one of them was released at the end of April, so I got that one as well. I think I'll start with the second-hand one. Also, I don't know if you've noticed in my vlogs or any of my videos of me like trying to hide my finger. I feel like whenever I pick up something I'm always going like that, and that's because I've had a bruise on my fingernail since February. I actually slammed it in the lift door in work, yeah, back in February, so over 2 months ago now, and it's still there. It actually looks way worse than it did when I first injured it. But basically it's like growing up my nail, but it's not my nail that needs to grow out, it's like the flesh under my nail that needs to grow out because it's taken so unbelievably long. So that's why you might see this. It looks like nail polish that I've just forgot to take off. Or you might see me going like that and hiding my nail. It's that bruise. I thought I'd clear that up because it's been in my vlogs since February. So, and it's progressively getting worse. But anyways, let's I'm doing it again, I'm hiding it. I'm just so used to like going out in public and going like and hiding it. Anyways, I'm gonna see what state this book's in. Hopefully it's not too bad. It's better be the cover that I wanted as well, because the reason I didn't buy it new is because I don't like the new cover. Okay, it's in decent condition. I wouldn't say very good. This is a book here. It's like completely stained with something. The pages are a little bit yellow, but I don't mind that. It's more just like the staining on the front cover. But this is The Time Traveller's Guide to Medieval England. I just really like medieval history, and I like reading a lot of fiction books in this era, a lot of medieval horror and stuff, and I just thought, why not read a non-fiction in this era? So I think this is kind of written as if you're the main character and you've been like plonked in medieval England, like what would you have to do to survive? Which I think is really interesting, but it's non-fiction. It has some pictures throughout it as well, which is cool. And yeah, I just feel like this is going to add to my medieval obsession at the moment. And this is a cover that I liked because it just looks more medieval. The other one has like, is green and just has this little guy in the front, and I don't know, this one just gave more medieval. Like, I love the font. So yeah, that's the first one. And then the second package, I do think I remember what one of the three this is. Sometimes Waterstones delivers books quite damaged. Their packaging isn't the best, but I think this one looks fine. Yeah, this is Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker. I've read one book from her before. It was The Scarlet Alchemist, I think, and it was a YA fantasy, and I didn't love it because I was kind of like growing out of YA books at the time, which I'll actually talk about in a minute in my reading update. But I actually really liked like the world building that she had at the start of that book, and also the writing. So the fact that I enjoyed those aspects makes me hopeful to pick up like any of her adult books, which this is. I think this is like a historical and present day horror. Yeah, it follows like two timelines. I think it's two connected timelines that come together. One is 2026 and the other one is 1877. That's all I really know so far. I know she has another adult horror book called Bat Eater, and so many people love that book as well. But this one sounded more like my kind of thing, so if I love this, I probably will pick that book up as well. But yeah, I think that's a successful haul. Now on to the actual reading update. I actually didn't read any more of A Beast Slinks Towards Beijing, but I did finish The Swan's Daughter last night, and I'm gonna give this a 3. My main reason that I just didn't love this is mainly just because it is a young adult book and it reads quite young. I did think the writing was very beautiful and lyrical, kind of what I expected from this author, from what I've read from her before, but it wasn't enough to get me invested in the characters and the plot. It just felt very young, and yeah, again, it is a YA book, so I don't discredit it for that. Like, I think that's why I give it like a 3. It was decent, but it's just not really my thing anymore. I also feel like I wanted more of the fantasy in this. Like, the main character is a Veritas swan, and I feel like we just didn't get enough of that. I loved the start of the book when you get her like swan life and her parents and her sisters as well. They're like barely in it, even though it's kind of one of the central like character growth journeys for the main character, is like her relationship with her parents, but they weren't really in it that much, and I feel like I just wanted more from that aspect and less on the like romance and the competition for like the prince's hand in marriage. That stuff I just wasn't that interested in. I still would recommend this if this is your thing, like a more cozy magical young adult romance. I just wanted a bit more from the fantasy aspects. I honestly would recommend this to fans of like Elizabeth Lim or Stephanie Garber as well. It had that fairy tale vibe to it, but yeah, overall I'm just going to give it a 3. But I am going to read more of A Beast Slinks Towards Beijing. I'm probably going to go on a walk in a minute because the weather's actually getting quite nice, but it's not nice enough to just sit in the garden and read. Like, it's a bit windy, but I feel like if I went on a walk it could be nice. I don't think I'll take my book with me, but maybe I will, because there's a nice bench I could read at. I ended up not bringing my book, and I'm disappointed because I found a bench and it's nice and warm. I feel like it's a wasted opportunity, but oh well. Give a proper reading update later, but just now I'm actually going into Edinburgh with my friend and we're going to go book shopping, and I'm going to do a separate vlog for that, like an Edinburgh bookstore vlog, but I thought I would take you with me today as well because I may as well put it in this vlog as well, and I'll put a few clips from the bookshops that we go to in this. So yeah, hope you enjoy that. So I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here. I hope you enjoyed the like book shopping content I got in Edinburgh. I'm gonna do a separate bookstore vlog for that because I got like 9 minutes of footage in all the bookshops we went to, so I just did a more condensed version of that for this video. But one final reading update to finish off the vlog. I actually went into Waterstones today just by myself because I wanted to finish off A Beast Links Towards Beijing. I actually didn't film while I was in there, which was strange because that's the first time I've been to Waterstones in months and not vlogged it. But it was a nice break not to have to like browse the shelves and then whip my phone out like that and then people are looking at me. But yeah, I finished like the last 70 pages of this in Waterstones, which is probably good that I read it in public because it was so sad. I probably would have cried if I was home alone. I almost cried at it last night because it's not just sad, it's like harrowing. This is a really difficult read and yeah, I am giving this 5 stars. I absolutely loved this. I loved all the timelines. As I said, you do get the main character in present day and then you get like her relatives and the like initial relative, like the furthest in the past and the one that kind of like is a catalyst for all of the events in this. You get that perspective last, like it's introduced last, and I liked the kind of backwards storytelling of it as things are like slowly pieced together. But yeah, this was amazing. The writing was amazing. The ending was actually a lot happier than I thought it was going to be. It kind of wrapped up pretty nicely, but I love this. This is a debut, which is so shocking to me because it's so well written. Yeah, I'm just so excited to read more from this author. Also, this book made me want to learn more about history because it covers like 2 different time periods of like China's history, and they're 2 time periods that I just didn't really know anything about, and now I want to learn more about the context of this because like I was googling certain words and stuff about the politics at the time, and yeah, I just don't know that much about like China's history, and this was like really interesting. So maybe I'll read more, probably like literary fiction books about it rather than non-fiction because non-fiction isn't my favourite genre, but I'd love more books like this. So if anyone has any recommendations, I would love to hear them. I also started another book while I was there, but I only read 2 pages, which actually made a decent amount of progress in this book. As you can see, those 2 pages really made a dent in this 880 page book. This is Ship of Magic. I think I'm going to do another reading vlog just on this because I want to film most of my journey with The Realm of the Elderlings. I filmed my journey with the first book in the series. This is like, I've explained it so many times in my vlogs. There's a 16 book series with mini series in it, so this is the first book in the second trilogy. But I've read the first trilogy and I vlogged the first and third book, not the second. I'm probably going to do something similar with this trilogy, maybe all 3 books or 1 or 2 of them. But either way, I do want to start this in another vlog, so that'll probably be up whenever I finish this book. God knows how long that'll be, but yeah, I don't really have any impressions of it because I read a 2-page prologue about some, I think it was about dragons or sea dragons or something living in the sea. Also, I did buy 2 more books while I was there. I didn't buy any books in Edinburgh, like I bought none because I got paid today and I went into Edinburgh yesterday and I had no money. I had no money and I didn't buy anything because I just didn't have the money. But today I bought 2 books. I have them here. They're both books in a series that I've already started, so I feel like that's better than just buying like a first book in a series. The first one is The Antiquarian's Object of Desire, and what's the series called? Okay, I'm not sure what the series is called, but this is a 3rd book. I don't know if this is the last book or not, but I think it might be. The first book is The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love, and then the second book is The Geographer's Map to Romance. They're all historical romance books with a little bit of fantasy, and they're all really weird and quirky and odd, and I just really like them. The first one's my favourite. I didn't love the second one as much, but this one sounds like it's going to be my thing because I think, yeah, instead of fake dating, it's the opposite where they actually are dating, but they're not allowed to or something like that, so they have to pretend to be enemies, which is like a twist on the enemies having to pretend to be fake dating, which I feel like sounds really cool. And yeah, an antiquarian. What is an antiquarian? Okay, I think they're antique experts. I think that I feel like I should know that. I have a history degree and I don't know what that means, but I like the other 2 books in the series and I've been looking forward to this, so that's why I got this one. And then the other one I got, even though I'm only 2 pages into the first book, The Mad Ship. I, at this point, just buy a Robin Hood book every time I'm in Waterstones. But I'm going to need them eventually. I'm going to make my way through the series this year, so at least I have this for when I eventually finish Ship of Magic, which is going to be so soon. But yeah, at least I have this on hand. They look so nice together. I love how all her books match. It's just so pleasing to the eye. Yeah, that's my haul. I also have another book coming at some point, and I did not order it. It wasn't me. I got it sent from the publishers. I requested it like last month, and I didn't think I was getting it because the release date is in 4 days, and it's the last contract of Isako, and I've just been really looking forward to that book, and I got an email from Hachette saying that it was coming. It got dispatched today, so I'm so excited for that. I'll probably haul it in my next vlog, and then I'll probably do a big book haul because I haven't done one in a while. I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I feel like this one's going to be a long one. I've been yapping a lot, but I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I definitely had a good reading experience with A Beast Like Swords by Jinx, probably my favourite read of April so far, even though it's the 1st of May today, but it's fine. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.